interpreting spectrograms. We have been discussing the application of spectrograms, and then also the ability of a phonetician to read spectrograms, right? But there are basically some questions related to the ability of the reading of spectrograms for the students of phonetics and phonology. Like, why to bother about the reading of spectrograms? And is it the part of the job of phoneticians, right? And then there may be some other questions like, do computers read and recognize spectrograms the way we have been drawing spectrograms and the way we have been studying spectrograms, right? So the answer is that this is not really the way we are supposed to discuss, spectrograms. Like the computer does read spectrogram, but in a different way. That's not particularly the way we have been doing it, right? And this is not a typical part of the job of a phonetician, but frankly speaking, that's a basic requirement from the students of phonetics and phonology, not only to understand what is at the background of the drawing of spectrograms, but also in order to understand various features of speech analysis and various features of the speech production and then the speech recognition, we are required to analyze spectrograms, and then we must be able to understand and read spectrograms, right? Since speech recognition is basically the duty of a language engineer, right? And in more advanced level researches, like researches related to the pathology of speech analysis, and then also like the machine translation or machine recognition of speech, engineers are busy in working and coming up with the synthesizing of the speech, and then also for developing the speech recognition models. But as a phonetician, we are also required to work on this aspect of the spectrogram reading. So that's an important requirement from the students of phonetics and phonology. Because when we are to work on a specific problem, right, regarding the phonetic features of a sound, right, and then also in some contexts the phonological features of a sound, then we are required to go through the spectrograms. And that's for the understanding of the nature of sound, right, and for the understanding of the nature of the problem, which is to be solved and to be drawn by the students of and the experts of phonetics and phonology. So that's a hands-on learning required from the experts of speech, analysis, like phoneticians and phonologists, that they should know what are the characteristics of speech, and then on the basis of their characteristics of speech, they must be able to study the phonetic features. And the phonetic features are, since they are signaled, they are processed through the spectrograms. So that's why they are required to go through spectrograms and understand them. And they should also be able to discuss various techniques of the speech recognition, right? So those techniques are, since that's the visible features which are there on the spectrograms, they give us very important hints, very important aspects of the speech under discussion. And the complexity in the structure of spoken language is very much helpful, very much applied in the sense that spectrograms are drawn and they are studied, right? And on the basis of these points, it's very much advisable for the students of phonetics and phonology to learn spectrograms and then work on them. And luckily, there are resources. There are points from which we can take help, and we can learn how to acquire this technique of the reading of spectrograms, and then to evaluate and to analyze the features of speech through these techniques. So we'll continue discussing this.